So, what is parameterization? Let's do a quick review. Can anyone tell me what is parameterization?
Hi,
So,
this is SM Islam from Alternate City. Can I try?
yes, go ahead.
Oh, well, parameterization is nothing but a template that can be used to multiple value in the same script.
I'm sorry, can you repeat it?
Parameterization is nothing but is a template that we can use the same script to multiple values.
Yes, that's pretty much it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so he gave us a really good definition, but to put it in more simple way, it's just that if you have multiple values, if you have multiple credentials to test something, any application, right? For example, you have Gmail account, right? So let's say okay. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, you have Gmail account, so and you have like 4 Gmail accounts or 3 Gmail accounts. No, sorry. Your supervisor comes and tells you that to test all of those 4 Gmail accounts to check if you could log in with them, right? He gives you username and passwords, and then he tells you to log in with all of them to see all of them works, all of those accounts works, right? So you are testing Gmail actually. So Gmail is the main application that you are trying to test, right? With multiple credentials that he has given to you, right? Or with multiple values, right? And that's called parameterization. So if you want to put it in this way, to run the same script. Guys, you need to focus on what I'm doing right now because you need to understand parameterization because we're going to use parameterization in many different scenarios from now on. So we need to be very clear about this. Okay, simple. To run the same script with different input values. Okay, very simple. Okay, so what we did yesterday was that log into PNT with 3 different users, right? So let's say we create a script where we could log in with only one, right? Up until now, we only learned how to test with only one value, right? But what if you had to log in with 5 different users, 10 different users, 100 different users, right? Are you going to create 100 different scripts? Because your the main purpose is for you to test if the PeopleNtech forum is working, right? With different values. Obviously, the data value is different, and I mean the input value is different. But the main purpose of you to test is that if the forum is working with different values, right? So if the application is same, the values are different. So in QTP, to do that, there is a way called parameterization. So in that way, what would you do is that you would log into this forum with the same script. You would log into the forum, but you could log in as many times as you want. I mean, as many times as you have input values, different input values, okay? So if you have 100 different input values, you could use them 100 times. The same script, right? So let's do that. So let's create a script, okay? Very simple script. So let's say it says login to PNT forum. Username and password. Okay. So what we're doing, we are logging in to the PNT forum. Look, this is the keyword. You should remember that we are testing the PNT forum. The application is the forum, the PNT forum. And these are just input values that you need to enter. Okay, these are just credentials that you need to enter. Okay, so the focus point of yours is to test the application called PNT forum, right? So let's do that. So what is the first step? Can anyone tell me what is the first step that we're gonna take to log into PNT forum? Open IE, right? So guys, I'm doing it over and over, even though everybody should be clear by now, but still I'm doing it because that's how you have to do it in real life work scenario, okay? And you have to create steps to accomplish any test. Okay? Navigate to so we open Internet Explorer, go to PeopleNtech, and then we enter our username. So we say enter, and then enter password, right? And then what? Can anyone tell me? After entering username and password, what do? We click on the login button, right? Click on login. Then we click on log out, right? And then we close the browser. That's it, right? Your job is done. Guys, please pay very close attention on what we're doing. Okay, and then we close the browser. All right, so we're logging into the PNT forum with following credentials, right? So let's record it. Now let's follow the steps that we created, right? So click on record. Open Internet Explorer. Okay. Come on. Okay. And then log out. And then we close that. Okay. So look, let's just delete the unnecessary lines so we don't read any of these. Remember. You could delete this thing because you're gonna add wait time. Okay, so everything should be fine. Going to PeopleNtech, entering username and password, and then click on login, and then click on log out, and then close the browser. Okay, all right. So now we logged in with which one? Look, only training one, right? The username and password. So now let's say, actually let's run this and let's see if it's working. Why it's taking time to log in? And then log out. I have absolutely no idea why it's so slow. But anyway, so you see it working, right? So now you have only one username and password that you're logging in with, right? So let's say you're and then you're done with your job, and then you go home, and then tomorrow when you come back, your supervisor tells you, or test lead tells you, that instead of only one username and password, he tells you to check. There are 3 username and passwords. He wants you to check all of those username and passwords if they are working properly. He wants you to check PNT forum, log into PNT forum with following credentials, training 1, 2, 3, let's say. Now he says log into training 1, 2, and 3, right? With the same password. Let's say the password is same. So what did you do? Are you going to re-record the script? No, absolutely not. You have done this. You have run the script. I mean, you have recorded a script which does the same thing. Check into the forum with username and a password. And now instead of only one username and password, you were doing for 3, right? So you know how to. This script is same. Everything is same. Only the username and password. These two, this username, even everything is same, right? All of the scripts are absolutely same, except these values. They should change each time, right? So how can you do it? These are input values. Remember I told you in parameterization to run the same script with different input values. So you could do that with parameterization. You could enter different values, as many different values as you want, and to run it with the same script. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. So now look what I'm gonna do. Guys, please pay attention. The steps, as I told you yesterday, if you do not if you cannot memorize the steps as I'm doing, please write it down. If you have a notebook, or if you want to type it in your computer, do it. Okay. So what are the steps that I'm taking right now? Look, this is a simple script, right? I'm gonna make it parameterized. These values, I'm gonna make them parameterized. Okay, how I'm gonna do it? These are constant values. These are just regular values. I'm gonna make these regular values or constant values to parameterized. Okay, so what I'm gonna do? That means making it parameterized means I'm gonna run the same script with different values. Okay, so look. So the very first step you need to make sure is to go click on File. Guys, if you cannot memorize it, please write it down. Click on File, click on Settings, and then click on Run. and make sure run on all rows is selected. Click OK. Is it okay? That's clear. Okay. And now enter the data, the different values that you're gonna take or you're gonna use into this data table. And if it doesn't show, this data table is not shown in your computer, click on View and click on Data. Look, click on View and click on Data. View and Data. Okay, so if it's not shown, this data table, sometimes it might not show. It should, and it might look like this. So then you will click on View and then click on Data. Make sense? All right. So now, before you do anything, you could change the names of these columns. So you double click on the column name, which is A, double click on it, and what it said, data table column name, change the parameter name. So you change it to, let's say, user name, and then change this one to, let's say, password. So now the username and password, just enter them. So the username you want to use is training1, and then training2, and then training3. Okay. And the password is same for everything. So the password, you could enter A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. But you want to make it secure, right? So how would you make it secure? Anyone remembers? Instead of entering A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, we want to enter encrypted text or encrypted password. How can we do that? Remember, guys, click on Start, click on All Programs, right? Then click on HP Software. Every one of you guys, excuse me, should have this HP Software, and then HP Unified Functional Testing, and then Tools, and then Password Encoder. Do you see? And now type in your password. It might not be ABCD1, 2, 3, 4, obviously. It might be something else. So you type in ABCD 2, 3, 4. And now you click on Generate, and then you click on Copy. Select everything and click on Copy. Okay. So the password is this, right? And the same thing goes for here. Same thing, right? Guys, do you follow? So far, so I'm going to take questions. I know you might have questions. Let me finish this. All right. So this should be clear, right? Very, very simple. You enter the username and password here. You enter the username and password here. Very simple. You just, so far it should be good. Username and password. That's it, right? And now you click on, oh, I'm sorry. And now you click on View. The next step is click on View and click on Keyword View. Okay? And now, in the value column of user, click on that and click on this little button that says configure the value. So you click on that, and now look, it's constant. So you don't only work with only one value, but you want to use it with all the values that you entered here. So you would select parameter, and then where to take the parameter from? Data table. And what is the name of the column that you want to take it from? Username. Make sense? See, it got selected here. And then click OK. Makes sense? And then go to password. The same thing, click on this button, then click on parameter, data table, and name of the column that you were taking the data from is password. Click on OK. Everyone is clear? That's it, done. You're done with this. And now you click on view again. Again you click on view, and then you click on editor. That's it. Everyone is clear? See, from now, it was set training 1. Now, does it say training 1 anymore? No. Now what it's saying, take the value from data table, username, and then take the value from data table, password. Do you see? Very simple. Can you do it? And now you could run it. Let's run it. Let's see if it's working. So instead of only one, it should work with all the 3. Look, so it entered the first one. Yeah, and then it should log out. So do you work with all of them? Yes. So do you see? So can you do it? Is it easy? Should be easy. If you follow the steps exactly the way I did it, it will be absolutely fine for anyone that is trying to do it, okay? So that's why I kept on telling you, if you do not remember or cannot memorize, I know because we're in the learning stage, and there are a lot of steps that I'm taking, different steps. So if you cannot memorize them, just write it down on a notebook or wherever you want to write it down, so you could follow them, okay? But you need to practice this. All right. Anyway, so far so good. Any questions? So let's see some questions. No, forget it. I mean, it just the password could be same. The username is different, right? So it doesn't matter. Why do we delete the sync? Okay. The sync statement, the way that we delete, sync is a way of QTP saying, wait a couple of seconds, okay? But since we are using the wait statement directly, we don't really need sync statement anymore, okay? So that's why we delete sync. Who was that? Shaheen Fati, okay? Yes, it will work. Mahesh Podu. Yeah, maybe, I'm not sure. Rehan Hawk? The pathway to the password encoder? Sure. It's start all programs. Again, start all programs, HP software, HP Unified Functional Testing Tools, and then password encoder. Do you see? Okay. Can't you just copy the one on the script? What do you mean? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, the password, yes, you could copy that, because since they're all the same, you could copy them. The password is same, it doesn't matter, you could, change it if you want, if you have a different passwords. I don't understand your question, Shakib Ahmad. How do we do it with different IDs and passwords? We did it with different IDs and passwords, right? I mean, password is same, but different IDs, right? It's the same thing. You could do it with different passwords too. If the first one's password is ABCD1234, the second one is, let's say, XYZ1234, it doesn't matter. You could still do it, right? Can you not? Do you understand the concept? If you understand the concept, that means you could do it. It doesn't matter if everything is different. Right? Did we run even though the username was different? Yes. So if the password is different, can we not run? Of course. Okay, so Ahmad Islam, the problem that you are having, probably there is a problem with your UFT. reinstall your UFT. Ask one of your nearest admin to install it, PeopleNtech admin, because that might be a problem with the UFT itself. Because no one else is having that problem, I'm guessing. And you see that this is a live. I'm doing it live, right? So I'm not having that problem. So it shouldn't be a problem. But you're having an unusual problem like that no one else is having, and you should contact the admin, and they will try to reinstall the program, so you could try to do it again. Okay. How do you save it into the test once you click on view? I'm not sure what you were asking. So when you click on view, guys, please pay attention. Click on view and then click on keyword view. View, after finishing this, doing this, you click on view again and click on editor. Or for your easy way to do it, is click on this icon. See, it goes to that and then it goes to here. So it's up to you, but just do it from view and then keyword view. And after you change them, change the username and password, then click on view and then click on editor. How do we post the password on the data table? Just copy and paste, remember? We go into the password encoder, right? We wrote our password, copy it, and then just paste it here. That's it, just paste it here. See? Paste it here. Manzoor Zamaluddin. I'll try to do that, but it's just that this is not only one time period that we're taking the class, right? There are people from different time zones, so it's not gonna be okay for everyone. So I'll give out break when we actually usually do. Okay. So in the keyword view, what I did, let's go to keyword view. Guys, please pay attention. That's why I keep on saying, please pay attention when I'm doing it, right? Because if you're not paying attention, if you're not paying attention and I'm showing it like different times, like 5-10 times, it's not gonna make sense. So you have to pay attention. So when you go to keyword view, you go to the user row and then value column, and then you click on this, and from it should be in constant. From constant you should click on parameter and then data table, and the name should be changed to username because we are taking it from the username column, right? And then you go to the password, the same thing, click on this, and it should be in constant, and then you click on parameter, then data table, and then change the name to password. Okay, guys? That's it. Then you click on view, then you click on editor. Shaolin Akhtar. Yes, it should work. Taranpreet Kaur. Okay, no problem. I just did, right? So yes, so we are parameterizing just the username and password. So you'll do it. No problem. So you can only parameterize. Well, not true. You can parameterize any type of values. Okay. See, this is the easiest one, or we're in the learning stage, so we did it the easiest one. Once we go learn more advanced stuff, then you will see we are doing different other there is going to be other values that we're going to parameterize. You will see, right? We will parameterize this value, even this value, even this value. Once we learn how to do them, you will see. Okay, so that's why you need to be very clear about what we're doing right now. Okay, guys. And in frameworks, we'll parameterize many things, many different things. Okay, so you need to be very clear. No, you need to encode something that you don't want to show. Even though this is not a proper way to encode, I mean, this is not that you could. This is a secure way to encode, but it's still, yes, if you want to hide something, you encode it this way, okay, with QTP. No, why we need to encode it every time we parameterize? What does that supposed to mean? This is a username. Am I encoding username? No, we don't need to encode it, right? We need to encode the password. That's why we are encoding the password, because the password is something that's secret, right? Do you want to show your password to the world? Absolutely not. Yes, that's why we are encoding the password. But you could show your username, right? Username is okay, but the password, you don't want to show it to everyone. That's why you encoded it. Okay, guys? Guys, you need to be very clear. Do practice when you go home. Is there any more questions about this? I want everyone to be absolutely clear about this. This is not that complicated, okay? If you just follow the steps that we took and the way we took it, it should be very clear. Okay, guys? All right, so let's run it one more time, and then we'll move it. So you should log in with two different values, because we parameterize these values, right? The username and password values, we parameterize those values. So it should work with as many values as we use. Okay. Guys, do not forget to check the settings, because sometimes if you if the setting is not properly, usually by default it will be like that, right? But sometimes it might change, or it might be different. So just to make sure, always check the setting. Always, okay? To see if it says run on all rows. Alright guys, so this should be very clear. Again, just make sure always before you do anything, go to settings. When you're doing parameterization, go to settings, go to run and see if it's selected as run on all rows. Because sometimes it might be selected as run one iteration only. So select run on all rows and click on OK. And then you put the username, password and everything. You go to keyword view and okay. Alright, any more questions? Guys, we're gonna take a break and then we're gonna move to the next thing that we're gonna learn, okay? But before that, let's take the question. No problem. How does the system know? Because we put a 3 username and password. That's how the system knows. Because we told QTP to look into the data table. Look, we told QTP to look into this data table and see how many values are there. As many values are there, just run through all the values. If there are 100 of them, it will run 100 of them times. If there is if there is 10 times, it will run 10 times, okay? Hamid? Please close your browser if there is any open browser. Let's say there is an open browser like this. Please close it before you run the test, okay? Tripti Chetri? Okay, no problem. Yes, Fatima Begum. Look, so let's delete one of the value to show you that the third one. Yes, I will have. We'll have break in a second. So let's just run it. And this is a smart application, so it knows how many values you are putting, right? It has a brain of its own. Remember what the brain is called? Object repository, right? So it has a brain, so it can think. Right, guys? Yes, the internet. Probably because from yesterday night there were some problems with the internet, and they're working on something. Probably that's why it's kind of slow. Right? So it did run one time, now it should run the second time. Do you see? So it's running on the second time. Do you see? Now it ran only twice. So do you now understand why it runs 3 times, 4 times? As many values as you will have here, it will run that many times. Okay. Yes, Amit, yes. All right, so let's take a break, guys. Everybody's requesting for the break because of the prayer time, I guess. So let's take a break and then come back by 8:20. Okay, guys? Thank you so much. QTP, tell UFT that where to get the value from. That's it. And rest will be done for you, okay? So you don't have to click on anything or do anything. Just click on this, set it up, where to get the value from, and that's about it. If you have 20,000 username and passwords, it won't matter, okay? And no problem. You don't have to click on any individual stuff, okay? Oh, because it doesn't log out. Hussein, because it doesn't log out properly. Put wait time. Put wait time, more wait times, okay? Put more wait times here. Wait time, put wait time 10 seconds, then it will work, okay? All right, anyway, guys, so let's move on. All right. So does anyone know what is environment variable? We're gonna learn about environment variable.
Hi, Alamin. It's SM Islam again from Architect City. Can I try about the environment variable?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a one kind of variable that we can import my any value and use this one in multiple scripts.
What? I'm sorry.
It is an encoded value that I can use or call this environment value is multiple scripts.
Yes. Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wanna try? All right, so let's create a new one. Let's save it anyway. Okay, let me show you in this way. Let's run. Look, if we write x equal to 1, x in here is environment. I'm really bad at spelling, as you know. So x is environment variable and 1 is the value. Okay? So x equal to 1, like we do in math, if it says x equal to 1, x would be called an environment variable, and 1 is the value of this environment variable. This is just an example, very simple example. So what is environment variable? And so environment variable is a variable that you could take or you could use anywhere. You could create or use built-in environment variable to execute various or execute is not the proper word. You create or use built-in environment variable to set of the actual value. These are, guys, the words that I'm typing in right now, these are my words. Okay, so I'll give you the book definition. I want you to understand it first, then I'll give you the book definition, okay? All right, so look, click on File. How can you get environment variables? Click on File, click on Settings, and then click on Environment. Built-in, user-defined. You need to understand what is built-in. What is this built-in? What does built-in means? Every single computer, if you have Windows 7, Windows 8, I don't like Windows 8, by the way, but if you have Windows 8, Windows XP, Windows 7, whatever, you'll see when you open your computer, let's say you bought a brand new computer, right, from Best Buy or wherever. If you open, like for the very first time when you open the computer, you will see some programs, some softwares that is already installed for you. And one of those program or software is called Notepad. See, in Windows XP, there is Notepad. In Windows 7, there is Notepad. Do you see? In every single machine, there will be softwares, or guys, you need to understand what is built in, so pay attention. And there are softwares or programs that will be pre-installed for you. Okay? That will be already installed before you even, like, it comes with the Windows. When you install a new Windows, if anyone knows how to install Windows operating system, if you install the Windows, like a fresh new copy, and as I was saying, if you buy a computer, fresh new computer, when you open it for the very first time, you will see there will be some softwares that is already installed. And those softwares are called built-in softwares. It comes with each and every machine. Let's say you and your friend bought two different laptops. Yours one is HP, the other one is Dell, let's say. And you and him will still have, there will be some different applications or programs or softwares that in your computer and his computer, they will be same because they're built-in software. It comes with the operating system. When they install the operating system, it comes with it, okay? So the similar applications or similar softwares that you have between your friend and yourself, those are the built-in ones. It comes with it, okay? So exactly like that, I mean, for example, one of the built-in software is Notepad, and another one is Paint, right? Every single one of you, if you're using Windows computer, you'll have this Paint software. Look, in Windows 7, there is a Paint too. Look, Paint, right? Do you understand? So there will be some pre-installed, or there will be some installed software that will come with Windows, and those are called built-in software that are already, that you don't have to install it, that already comes with it. That's called built-in. So there are some built-in environment variables, look, that are already defined for you. Okay, let's learn about user-defined now. What is user-defined? Before we go into built-in, let's learn about user-defined. What is user-defined? So after you open your computer for the first time, you see some of the softwares are installed for you, right? Some of the softwares are installed for you, right? So, but let's say, for example, you want to install, there is not good enough softwares. So let's say you want to install a Canon, right? Canon printer driver, or that's not a good example actually. A Skype, for example, yeah. Skype is everyone uses Skype. So let's say you wanna install a Skype, right? The software Skype. So you are actually, what you are doing when you are installing a Skype, you are installing a third-party software, and a third-party software is called a user-defined, user installed software, right? So exactly like that. So you yourself is installing it, right? It's not built in. It didn't come with the it didn't come with the machine, right? When you opened it for the first time, you didn't see a Skype in there, but you yourself were installing it. And those type of softwares that you install are called user installed softwares, user defined softwares, if you want to call them. That's okay too. So exactly like that, in environment variable, there is one that is built in, that is already defined for you, and there is one called user defined. Okay. So in user defined, there is nothing. Look, it's blank here. So you could create your own environment variable, and there is one that is already there for you. So let's use an example of environment variable, and that's how you're going to understand it. So let's say OS, right? So if you put it something like this, I'm going to explain everything that I'm writing, but let's just follow what I'm writing right now. So let's see, look at on date. Okay, so let me explain what is this that I'm typing. Okay, look. Do you know what is message box? I didn't explain message box. So message box is nothing. It's just a message. You're creating a message box. So for example, if you go to Notepad, let's say you type in something, whatever, right? And then you try to close it. Do you see a message box? This is a message box. It says what? Notepad. The text in the untitled file has changed. Do you want to save? So this is a message box. This is giving you a warning or a message, and this is called a message box. So we are creating with QTP. You could create your own message box. So forget about this. Let's create a simple. Let me explain what is message box first, because message box is something that we are going to constantly use in everything. So you need to be very clear about this. So in message box, if you write, you just simply write MSG message box. It will create a message box, and then you type in anything you want. Hello, how is everyone? Or this is test message box, something like that, right? So whatever you type in, it will pop up in the message box. Look, so if I click on play now, click on run. So we are learning a little tiny bit of programming languages too, in easy ways. Look, so what it says, hello, this is a test message box, right? Whatever you type in, after you write message box, whatever you type in or whatever you write, it will show in the box. Like I say, in Notepad, if you type in something and you try to close it, see, there is a message that shows here. Exactly like that, you could choose what message to show, right? Okay, guys, that's what message. Okay, so it should be clear. Message box is that. So now let's talk about environment variable. File settings and go to environment to see the built-in one. Built-in one is not as widely used, but still, let's just give you some examples. So look, test name. Let's do this one, test name. Okay, look, what is the name of our test? Do you see? GUI test 2. Do you see the name of it? Let's save it so I could show you more properly. Environment variable. Let's name our test environment variable. Okay, so we named our test as environment variable. So let's say, well, it will come in place sometime when we start doing more advanced stuff. So let's say for some reason we need to know what is our test name. Look, environment variable, right? We could say it from here, but let's say you just want to use it in your test, right? Then what are we gonna write? Look, we're gonna write, if you want to see your test name, you're gonna write, message box, because you want to see it in a message box. Environment dot value. That's how you're gonna get environment value. And then you're gonna type in, look, it's already there. Once you type in, you have to put a parenthesis. Exactly however I'm typing, that's how you have to type in. Look, test name. So there is already one that is already defined for you, test name, right? So if you play on it, click on play, what's gonna, look, it's gonna give me, do you see the name that we saved our test as? It's showing me that test name because I told QTP to show me a message box with the environment value test name. Okay, guys? Okay, it'll make more sense once we actually use it in a test. So let's record a test. Let's do something with some test, so it'll make more sense. So let's do a test. Let's log into PNT. Let's do the same test that we were doing before. Okay, guys, let's have some patience. It'll be much more clear right now. All right, so let's record something. Click on record, click OK. Click Internet Explorer. Go to PeopleNtech. every single time. It's taking so much time. Okay, so it logged in, then log out. And then close the browser. Okay. All right. Stop it. So sync we delete because it's a way of saying wait. So this sync means wait. Okay. So that's why we delete it, because in sync it randomizes the wait time, but we don't want it to randomize. We want it to wait 5 seconds. Let's delete everything that we don't need. Okay. All right. So now, look. Actually, let me run it to see if it's working. I like to do that still now because, you know, if I don't do it, like I feel like, you know, I'm not doing something right. Before I do anything, I always try to check if the previous step was right. Okay, so you should do it too. That's a good practice of programming. Okay, because we are learning programming now. I mean, the very easy programming. So in programming languages, you should always check the previous step before you move to a new one. Okay? That's a very good practice. If you can do it, that means, you know, there will be less problems that you will be facing when you're creating a script or when you're doing something. All right, so it's working. So look, let's say you don't want to show this training. The password is not shown. You don't even want to show this password either. Let's forget about the password now. For now, just focus on the username. Let's say you work for a bank, right? You got hired for a bank, Bank of America, right? So their username and passwords for customers are very, very secure, right? So let's say your supervisor gives you a username and password, a dummy username, or let's just say a real username of a customer and a password. So you save the password by encoding it, right? But what about the username? Even the username is very, 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 very important and very secure, very strict. No one else could know. Let's say you have 5 testers in your workplace. Okay, this is a true story, right, guys? There was this guy who was working for Ford. The car maker Ford, you know that, right? So there was this customer. They, they have financial institute in Ford. You know that, right? So in Ford, because they loan out money, obviously, to buy the cars. So they gave this guy a username and password of a real person, and who could log into the account and see, how much money he has or left, or like some very his date of birth, his social security, and everything is there in that account. So they told him to secure the username and password. Only he could know the username and password. This is a true story, guys. Only he could know the username and password. No one else could, right? Because this is a very, very for obviously security reasons, very, very secure. Because if anyone else gets to know it, they might manipulate that person. So what he did, he didn't know how to secure the username. He did secure the password, but he couldn't secure the username. Well, he could do it from the password encoder, but let's just say he couldn't do it. And what happened, somehow someone got hang of this password and then the username, right? Also, the person who doesn't know QTP, and then they manipulated and they took the personal information of that person, and the next day that tester got fired right away. They didn't even explain why or anything. They didn't say anything, just got fired. So it's very, 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 very important. Okay, when they give you a very secure information to keep, you need to keep it to yourself only, and you need to secure it. Even if they don't say it to secure it, you need to secure it. Okay, guys? All right, anyway, so let's say we want to secure this username, like I was saying. We don't want to show this username also. Okay. Of course, you could go to all programs and go to the password encoder and then secure it from there. But this is not actually secure, guys. I didn't tell you before, or I didn't want to tell you, because this, even though this is written like this, it's still, this could be hacked very easily. You don't even have to know any hacking or anything. You could do it from a web source, and you could see it. What's the actual password? So this is not actually very secure. So let's say you could do it that way, but this is not secure, so you don't want to do it that way. So what can you do? Go to File, go to Settings, and go to Environment, and then click on User Defined. Guys, please pay attention to what I'm doing. And then click on this plus sign, and then give it a name, user. And then the value is training. Click OK. Click Apply. Click OK. So now you say something like this. Guys, please pay attention. So now you tell me, if someone that don't know QTP, or if a random guy comes and sees, let's say your computer is open and you went to the cafeteria or something to get a coffee or something, and your computer is on. If someone comes and looks at your script, is there any way they could tell what is the username for PeopleNtech forum? They might think, oh, this is user. Then they will try to do it with the username called user. Do you think it will work? Don't you think this is more secure? Yeah, of course, if they know how to do it, they could go to, but there is no 100%. You already know that, right? Everyone knows that. But still, it's more secure, right? Isn't it more secure just instead of just typing training 1, and it says something like this? Don't you think this is more secure? Of course it is more secure. So now let's run this. You'll see, even though it says environment.value_user, it will still write training 1. Why? Because we added a user-defined environment variable. I gave it a name. So what I did, instead of saying 1, I said X. So is there any way, if in your math class, if they don't tell you X equal to 1, is there any way you could tell X equal to 1 or X equal to 5, let's say? Is there any way? So, and then let's say they give you a equation like this, X plus 3, what is it? So let's say you know X equal to 5, so you could solve it, right? Like this, right? But what if, let's say, what if they didn't give you, you don't know what is X stands for? Is there any way you could solve this? No, right? Exactly. So what we are doing here, X is the name, for example, and the value is the value, right? So look, if you go to settings in environment and then go to user defined, you see the name is X and the value is 1. Do you see? So every time you call the value or every time you call the name, which is X, the value would pop up. Make sense? And this is what environment value is. So let's run this and let's see. Instead of, I mean, if it puts training 1, look, let's run. So did it put training 1? Do you see training 1 here? Yes. So don't you think this is more secure? This is just a one example of environment variable. Just because we are in the learning stage, I'm not going to go into more advanced examples. You should know that's how, this is just the basic concept of environment variable, and I need you to be clear about the basic concept of this. So once we go more advanced, you know, you could understand what I'm trying to talk about. Okay, guys, everything is related. I keep on saying that today, if I'm saying something, it's gonna come into place maybe next week or maybe the following week. Okay, so you need to be very careful and need to pay attention in the class, please, guys. Okay, all right. So do you see? Don't you think this is more secure? So let's do the password for the password too. Instead of putting this, let's put something like this. And do trust me when I tell you, instead, except you or the testers who get hired as a QTP or automation tester, no one else knows how to use QTP. This is a fact, guys. My supervisor, when I used to work, my test lead, forget about the test lead, the tech lead, who is the boss man of the test lead, right? He didn't know how to use QTP. I showed him so many things because I was trying to make him understand one script, because for some reason, you know, he didn't know what I'm talking about. He looked at this and he was like, why? He knows how to build softwares. He knows how to create these softwares, but he doesn't know, he doesn't understand what I'm trying to say here. This is a fact. I'm not making this up or anything. I had to make him understand what are these in order for him to understand some part of it. I was explaining to him something, but anyway, you understand. So except you or the people that knows QTP, no one will understand what you have written here. This is a fact. Okay. All right. So let's go to settings. Like, like exactly the same way you don't know what the tech lead is talking about. That's why you get hired and he also gets hired too. If everyone knew everything, obviously there wouldn't be any necessity of hiring different people for different sectors, right? So it's exactly the same way. He knows how to build these softwares because he knows how to code in .NET, in Java, in C++, C Sharp, but you don't know them. You only know QTP. So he doesn't need QTP, so he doesn't know. And you don't need to know those programming languages, so you don't know them. Do you understand now? So it's exactly like that. So they wouldn't know what you're typing here. Anyway, so it said secure. Let's secure our password too. Go to settings, environment, click on user defined, add one more, click on plus, and let's hit pass. Name could be anything, okay guys, and click OK. So the value I copied and pasted, or okay, and then click OK. Okay, click apply, click OK, and set secure. Now write the environment variable. Okay guys, do you see? So let's see if it works. So can you tell if you take a random person from the street, well obviously educated and everything, and he even a computer, let's say, expert, fixing computers and stuff. Do you think if you come and show him, if you bring him and show him this, he could tell and tell him, find out what is the username and password that I used for PeopleNtech forum from here? Do you think he could find it? Of course not. There is no way, except him knowing that he has to click on file, and then click on settings, and then click on environment, and then click on user defined to see that. Do you understand? Let's play. Guys, you need to be clear about environment variable, okay? I mean, at least the basic concept of it, what I'm doing, do practice when you go home. So do you see the username and password was entered properly? So you need to be clear when you go home, try to different things, okay? Log into Gmail in this way, using environment variable. Log into Yahoo using environment variable, okay? Do create your own test cases. And then try it with different one. And you could do it with your own username and password here too, and see if it works, if environment variable works, okay? All right, so do you see it worked? And log out, and then close the browser. Do you see it worked? Do you understand how to use environment variable? I mean environment, yes, variable. Okay, very simple. No, we cannot delete or so. Is there any question? I'm going to move to the next topic. Is there any questions you guys want to ask about this? No, you cannot. Build means you cannot remove or anything. You do anything with it. These are just there. Okay. And user defined, you create your own, or you could edit them. Click on them and click on edit, and then you edit them. And then, if you want to delete. Okay. Sync randomizes the wait time means, look, here I say 5 seconds, right? So I am actually defining how many seconds it should wait before moving to the next step. But in sync, guys, see, I don't want to, there are some things that I'm not gonna, I don't want you guys to worry about, because there are things that you don't need to know. Hanif sir always says, Mr. Srikanth and I myself found that out, that the things that I don't really need, I don't need to worry about them, because that actually bothers you to learn something that you need. Okay, something that you need, something that you need to know. Just know them, and the things that you don't really need to know, don't worry about them. Just forget it. Just forget it, because it was told in QTP that it doesn't matter how you accomplish your job, okay, as long as you accomplish it properly, as easily as you can. It doesn't matter, okay? There are many different ways to do one thing, okay? In math, there are many different ways to solve a math. But don't you think it's easier for you to take the easiest solution and do it that way? Because they don't care in QTP. I mean, in math, sometimes they do care, but in QTP, they do not care, okay? I'm telling you from my experience, and if anyone from your side works, that works in a real job, you could ask them. They do not care how you accomplish or how you complete your job, as long as you complete them properly. So as easy as you could do them or as hard as you do them, it's up to you. They just want the result, okay? See, instead of putting the training one directly here, I put it with environment variable. But if I put it with direct training one, because this is not a very secure thing, I could do it that way too. But I did it more complicated way, right? A little bit more complicated way. So it's up to me, however I want to do it. So the things that you don't need to worry about, just don't worry about them. The thing that I explained is that it's just a wait time. Here, I'm explaining how many seconds, or I'm defining how many seconds it should wait before moving to the next. But in sync, that means QTP will, QTP randomly generate these seconds and wait that many seconds that it needs. So this is not a proper way to do it, okay? Sync is not necessary, you should delete it. Okay? Alright guys? Okay. So guys, please, let's not worry about the things that we don't really need, because they're not gonna ask you what is sync in interview, or you don't need it in your workplace. Okay? As I said, there will be things that I'm not gonna talk about. You don't really need to worry about them, because things that you really need, or the things that you don't even need, Hanif sir, PeopleNtech is showing you, okay? So please, let's just learn what we actually need. Okay? All right. But I'm not discouraging anyone to ask questions, but yeah. All right. So user defined, oh, okay, I showed you. All right, guys. So that's how, please do practice when you go home. Miladur Rahman. Probably you put in the password wrong, okay? Okay, set secure. I was about to explain that later on, but I'm gonna explain that later on. Okay, guys, set and set secure. Why it says set secure here? Why it says set? Just to give you an idea, set, it says set here because remember we didn't encode training, but we encoded the password. Remember, guys? That's why. So if any encoded text is in your script, you have to put set secure. If there is a value that is not secured or encoded, you put set. Simple, okay? But I'll explain more in next classes. Right now, this is not that relevant, okay? You don't need that much, but anyway. Okay, guys. All right. So let's create a new one. We're gonna learn about something else called recovery scenario. So what is recovery scenario? Anyone? No one knows? Okay, recovery scenario is what? Look, so let's record a script first, actually. Let's do something with Facebook. So what happened? Yes. All right, so we will record a script with Facebook. Guys, please pay attention. All right. So let's say you are recording this script in your computer, okay? Let's record it. In your computer. Pay attention to what I'm saying. So let's say you are recording this script in your computer. This is very important, recovery scenario. I was asked about recovery scenario in many interviews, okay? So click on record. You are recording this in your computer right now, okay? Let's just assume. Click OK. Start. Go to Facebook. So you didn't get any warning message or anything. You just went there. And then let's say sign up. Oh, sorry. Let's click on login. And it will give you an error message. And just get out from there. Simple, okay? So delete the sign up because we don't need that. Very simple script. I didn't do anything except just clicking on login, right? Went to Facebook and clicked on login. That's it. Alright, guys. Very simple. Be very careful when you are typing something, okay, guys? All right. So let's say you recorded this script. Let's save it first. Let's call it recovery. So let's say you recorded this script in your computer, okay? Now let's say you want to run this script, or your friend, or your colleague, or your co-worker, co-tester wants to run this script too, okay? And let's say in his computer there is a problem. What is the problem? What's going on? Okay, so what is the problem? Let's say you saw when you recorded the script in your computer, there was no problem or no message box that appeared. But let's say in his computer, when he goes to Facebook, he gets this message. So is there anything in the script that says to take care of that message box? No, it has to be there, right? So what would happen? He takes this script in his computer. His computer has a different environment. Okay, this is called different environments. In your computer, it didn't show you that message, remember? But in his computer, when he tries to run it, that message pops up. So what would happen? Let's say now he took the script in his computer, now he tries to run it. How I change the environment, I'll explain that, or I'll tell you in a second. But just pay attention to what I'm saying right now. Is that, let's say he took the script in his computer and then he clicked on run. Look what happens. Look, it popped up. Now QTP doesn't know what to do, because I didn't tell QTP what to do in the script, right? Because in my computer, this doesn't pop up. So that means in his computer, because his environment or everything is different, it pops up. So it will fail. Look. It will take some time because QTP is trying to find out what to do with it. Is there anything? He's trying his best to see if he could do something about it, but it cannot. Look, because I didn't do anything with it in my computer, because I didn't have that problem, right? So I didn't have that problem, right? That's why my script will not run in his computer. Okay. So how can I make my script run in every computer, in his computer, in anyone else's computer? If they have that problem or not, it will still run. How can I do that? There is something called recovery scenario, where what we'll do is that if QTP sees this message box, it will click on OK. And if it doesn't see that message box, let's change it. I'll show you how to change it slowly, but 1 second. Let me just do it, then I'll show you. So if it sees that, it will click on OK, but if it doesn't see anything like that, it will just continue running the test. That's it. If it sees that, it will click on OK. If it doesn't, it will continue with it. And that process is called recovery scenario. That means if you see something, if there is something, then do some action with it. Or if there is nothing, if you cannot see anything, then just continue to the next step. Okay, guys, this is called recovery scenario. And you could find recovery scenario in recovery scenario resources. Okay, so look, guys, for your practice purposes, you need to, because you cannot, let's say you don't have 2 computers, and even if you don't have 2 computers, 3 computers, it doesn't matter. You could do it in 1 computer. To do that, to change your environment, to see that message, to practice, click on Internet Options, click on Advanced. Again, go to my Internet Explorer first. Go to Internet Explorer first. Then click on Tools. And then click on Internet Options. And then click on Advanced. And then go down very, very, very bottom. And from the second to last, if it's unchecked, that means that message will not pop up. But let's say you want to change the environment because you want to test, you want to practice. So check it. That means that warning message or that message box will pop up. If it's checked, second to last one, if this one is checked, that means that message box will show up. But if it's not checked, that means that message box is not going to show up. Okay, so that's how you change the environments. Okay, this is just a very simple basic example of changing environments. So it's checked, that means the message will pop up. You need to close the browser and then reopen it to see the changes. So now if we go to Facebook, because we checked it, now it will show me the message. But let's change it. The second to last one, uncheck it, click apply, click OK. And now if you go to Facebook, it will not show me the message. Do you see? So do you know how to change environments for your testing purposes, for your practice purposes? Yes, very easy. All right. So now let's go back. So I recorded this script. So in my computer, so let's say I'm running in my computer right now. Let's see if it runs properly without any issues. Goes to Facebook without giving me any problem because I'm running it in my computer. Okay. Okay, so it didn't give me any issues. So now let's say I want to run this in my friend's computer. Check it. So now let's say I want to run this in my computer and it will give me an error message. You saw that before, but I'm just running it one more time to make sure you're following. Do you see? It will give me an error message. You already know. It will take time, but you know it will give me an error message. Okay, guys? All right. So you saw that, right? Okay. So now, what can you do? You could add a recovery scenario, which will do what? If it sees this message box, it will click on OK. If it doesn't see it, it'll just let it be. So look, how do you add a recovery scenario manager? Click on resources, click on recovery scenario manager. Do you see? And then you click on new, or you click on this. Click on new. Oh, new doesn't work. You know, some of the functionality of UFT sometimes don't work. So just click on this. This is new too. Okay, so click on this and read through. When you have time, when you go home, when you practice on your own, read through all of these. Okay, it will make more sense. Click on next. So what are we trying to do? We are trying to handle a pop-up window, right? This is a pop-up window, right? This popped up, right? So we're trying to handle a pop-up window. Pop-up window is selected, and click on next. And now what it says, specify pop-up window conditions. Specify the conditions to identify a pop-up window. So what are you gonna do? In this screen, you're gonna click on this hand sign. Look, this hand sign. And then you're gonna click on with the hand. It becomes a hand, right? Your mouse pointer becomes a hand. You're gonna click on the blue part of the pop-up. What it says, do you see? It came automatically, security alert, the name of the pop-up window, security alert, and everything else came too. Look. See, you're about to view pages, all the messages. Okay. So now click next. Or you could deselect it. You don't need to, because there is only one security message, and it will try to match with the title of the security. So just let the first one be there, and then click on next. And now what it says, what do you want to do with it? Recovery operations. You can define several. Okay, so what do you want to? That means what do you want to do with it? So now click on next. Keyboard or mouse operation, right? That's what you want to do. You want to click on OK with your mouse, or hit enter with your keyboard, right? So you select keyboard or mouse operation. Click on next. And now it says click on default button. Or you could select this one or press enter. This will work too in this case. Or you could click on click button with label, this one, and then click on this hand sign again. And click on OK, because you want to click on OK, right? See? Okay, so it will click on OK. And then click on next. Do you see? And then deselect this. Deselect this. Then click on next. And then just next. Don't worry about anything else. And give it a name, okay? So my first recovery RS or recovery scenario. Put a description, recovery scenario for Facebook, right? Something like that. And then put next. And just leave it how it is. Just click on finish. And now, this is very, very important. Everyone forgets that. You need to click on save. Do you see? You need to click on save. You have to save this. Click on save. And now, save it. And give it the name that you want. First, recovery scenario. That's it. And now you could close it. And now there is one more step that you have to take. Click on file. Click on settings. And then click on, what is it? Recovery. Do you see recovery? And then click on this plus sign. And this will come up. and then you click on this dot dot dot, right? That means browse. And now when you click on browse, you select the recovery scenario that you saved, remember? And then you double click on it, and don't worry about it, just click yes, no, whatever, and then add scenario, and click apply and click OK. So now let's run this. Let's run this script in your friend's computer, not your computer. In your friend's computer, the error message shows. Now let's see what happens. So click on play. It sometimes takes time. Just click on play and click run. So look what it does. It takes time. Sometimes it takes a lot of time. I mean, obviously it's not going to take 10 minutes, but it'll eventually click on OK, you will see. Because it's trying to match everything that you have defined. Remember in those screens? So it's trying to match everything. It will click on OK. Just wait a couple of seconds. See? Did you see it clicked on OK? Did you see without any error? Before we got an error, right? But now did it give us an error? Absolutely not. So do you see how it works? It takes a little time, but it works. Do you see? Can you do it? And now let's run it in your computer. So to run it in your computer, you're gonna go to Internet Explorer Tools, and then Internet Options, and then click on Advanced. Look, Advanced. Guys, if you can't remember these steps, I know, this is normal. I mean, I myself didn't remember when I was learning. Just write it down on your notebook or anywhere you wanna write it down, okay? So it's gonna be easier for you when you practice, okay guys? All right, so deselect it, that means it's your computer. So now, in your computer, it will still run. That's what recovery scenario is. If it sees an error, it will do something with it. If it doesn't see an error, it will not do anything. It will just continue running. Look, so in your computer now you are running the script. With that recovery scenario being there. So did it give us an error? Absolutely not. But when it saw the error, it took care of it. That's called recovery scenario. Does everyone understand what is recovery scenario? I'll show the steps again. I mean, you might if you want to see it. But do you understand what is recovery scenario now? And how it works? And what does it do? Yes, you could add multiple scenarios to a single test. All right, guys, so let me know if you understand recovery scenario, if you could do it. Yes, you have to send the recovery scenario along with your script, because that's why you saved it. Remember, we saved it. Yes, you could add multiple recovery scenario. If there is more than one pop-up that's showing, or if there is more than one problem that might occur, that you think might occur when someone else is running the script, then of course you could add multiple recovery scenario. It doesn't matter. There is no limitation, as many as you want or as little as you want. Okay, guys, everyone is clear? Yes, I will do the scenario one more time. How to add the scenario? So can anyone tell me, the people that has no question, can you tell me how to? Does it work for an ad pop-up that comes every time? Rehan Raihan Pop? Okay. No, it's not gonna work for the ad, because ad. I mean, it will work, but then you have to define the ad, and that will take you. I mean, you have to know BB script for that, which you will learn in later on. Okay. So when we start doing more advanced, I mean, learning descriptive programming, then we'll try to do it with pop-up ads and everything. Okay. Not right now. It will not. Right now, it will not work. Okay. Error handling, yes, error handling, I'll show you guys. Eventually, I'll show you guys error handling too. In last few classes. Right now, if I show you error handle, it will not make that much sense. Okay. I'll show you, Mohammed Alam. Okay. What? Please, can you write the steps for us in the note, guys? Please try to pay attention how I'm doing. What? Predict the different kinds of. Well, you could obviously certainly tell Ahmad Islam, certainly tell what could happen, right? And if something happens in your friend's computer, obviously he's going to be a tester too, because without a tester, no one will know how to run it, as I told you before. So if he's going to be a tester too, he could add a recovery scenario with that too, right? If he has any other problem. So it's not going to be a problem, but as far as you could tell, you could add as many as you want. Okay. Yes, Muntazim Khan, yes, because the variables are a little bit different. All right, anyway, so let me show you how to add the recovery scenario. So can anyone tell me how to add it? What do I do first? Actually, let's delete that one first. So we could add a new one, okay? So how can I add a new one? Anyone? A resource? Guys, please pay attention, and the people that want to write down the steps, please write it down. Click on resources. Click on recovery scenario manager, okay? And then click on this new scenario. And then click on next. And let it be. Click on next. And what is the window title? So to get the window title, you have to change the variables, right? The scenarios. And so now when you see the pop-up, you click on this hand sign, right? And then you click on the blue part. And then this will come up. Just deselect this. And then click on next. Again, click on next. And then what is it? Keyboard or mouse operation, right? Click on next. Click on default button. This will work too, but click on button with level. OK, right? So it should click on OK. And click next. And deselect this. In this screen, deselect this. Add another recovery operation. You don't need to. Once you click on OK, right? Once you click on OK, do you want to do anything with it? Anything else with it? No, it will just disappear, right? So that's why you deselect this. And then click on next. And then let it be. Click on next. And now give it a name. My recovery scenario 2. And give it some description. Next. And click on finish. And now, very important, click on save. My, and give it some name, RS. Because if you don't save it, how would you send it to your friend? So, save, right? Or your co-worker or whoever it is. Click on close. And now again, now you have to click on file and then settings, then recovery, and then the plus sign, and then click on this dot, and then my RS2, double click on it. Yes, no, add scenario. Click apply and click OK. That's it. That's how you add the recovery scenario. Now let's see if it works in our my friend's computer. It will take a little bit of time, but so did it click on OK? Yes. Do you see? Now it's running. Did it give us any error? Absolutely not. Is it working? Yes. Do you see? So now let's run it in my computer again. To make it my computer, you just uncheck this. So it doesn't matter. Recovery scenario, what it does is that again, it handles if there is any problem, and if there is no problem, it just doesn't do anything. You know, it let it continue. Makes sense, guys? All right, guys. Everyone is clear about recovery scenario. Very important two things that we have learned today: environment variable and recovery scenario. No more today? Sounds really. Yes, everyone everyone is a QTP. I mean, eventually everyone will be a QTP expert, right? Thanks to Hanim sir, PeopleNtech, and everyone, right? All right. Yes. No more today. Why not? Let's let's do one more thing. No, no. I don't want to. Yes, I don't want to do anymore either because I want you guys to practice these three, four, I think four things that we have learned in last two classes. You need to be very clear about all of these because everything will be related in next classes. Guys, you need, in next few classes, you will need everything that we are learning so far, okay? Alright. What? Do environment variable one more time? Miladul Rahman. What part do you want me to show you? File, settings, environment. If you want to use your own environment, you click on user define. I mean, that's what most of the time you're going to use, user define one. Click on user define and click on this plus sign. And then put something like my name and go to layer value as well. There you go. Okay. Okay. Oh, there cannot be any space. Sorry about that. My name. Okay. Red line. So now put a message box on top saying environment dot value. Okay. Oh, let me show you a very quick thing too, but let's run this first. So does it show my name? Do you see how to use environment variable? Okay. Okay, let's forget about this. All right, so let me show you a very quick thing, one more thing before we go. There is something called debug point. What is debug point? Anyone? What is debugging? Debugging means if you want to stop your test or your script from moving further because you want to make changes, you might want to make changes or you want to pause the script. You do something like this. Take your mouse cursor to the very left and put a red dot. So that means what? What will happen? It will run up to this and then it will stop here. Look what it does. Say it shows my name and then it will go to Facebook. And then now what it does, look. Do you see? It paused in that line. It's not doing anything. So now either you could play or stop. So that means why you use debug point? To make changes. If you want to make changes, anything here or anything here. If you want to delete this, you could delete this now. Right? Something like that. So debugging means just this. Pausing the script or edit your script. Anything. Okay, guys? That's how you do debugging. This is important too. They ask you in interviews what is debugging point. And just to pause the script to see if there is any problem with the previous step. Okay, guys? can you do it? Just go to the left, very, very left, and then just click on wherever you want to stop or pause. So debugging, just write it down if you want to write it down. This is important actually because they ask you in interviews. Debugging. In automation testing. This is the book definition. Context is a systemic issues. Automation script so that the script will be more focused and defects in the application. Well, you don't really need to say all of these. If they ask you what is debugging, you could say that debugging, what it does is that it fixes if there is any error in the code, right? It fixes the errors in the code if there is any error in the code, and it makes the script more reliable and problem-free. That's it, simple, okay? Because when you put a debug point, it will stop there. So you could either stop this test and fix the line, what's there, or the previous line even, and then run it again, okay? All right, guys? This is debugging point, and very simple. Yes, QTP book you could use. Ahmad Islam, for your references. It's up to you. No. While you are running, you cannot fix. You have to stop it. What? The definition? Sure. I do. So in my word, if you want to say it like this, debugging in more simple way. We use debugging in UFT or QTP to fix coding issues in the script and to spot defects in the application. Simple, okay. Forget about this. This is too much. Okay? Very simple. Just say this one. Very simple, okay guys? I'll save this and I'll put it in. Okay guys? Any question? Alright guys, so any more questions? Is there any questions that you want to ask before we go? Guys, do practice, please. I mean, if you want to take it as assignment, take it as assignment. Please do practice, okay? Practicing is your assignment. Oh, Shafiuddin Ahmad, you want okay, you want your Internet Explorer to open blank. Go to Tools, go to Internet Options, and click on Use Blank, okay, this one. And then click Apply and click OK. That's it. Shafiuddin, okay. No problem. All right, any more questions, guys? Thank you, Nemesio Garcia. All right, anyone wants to ask anything? All right, so if there is no more questions, please, guys, please